Morant with a running start. Elevates. Oh, he dunks. Oh, my goodness.
Tie game in overtime. Gasol will turn. His heave is good. Memphis on top. 7-10 remaining.
Conley now with three. Count it. A 15-point lead for Memphis. And Blake Griffin gets into it on the floor with Randolph. Hard to tell if there are any punches being thrown under there, but Griffin took acceptance.
Adams going long. Morant. He hit it. John Morant, insanity.
You gotta be kidding me. Welcome to Grits and Grinds, a Memphis Grizzlies podcast. My name is Keith Parish. Grizzlies win edition. That's what this is. The Grizzlies defeated the Sacramento Kings 125-110 to improve to 4-1 on the season. They got help from their bench. Maybe the story of the game. That and Desmond Bane looks like an all-star. This was a great, grinded out yet comfortable road win. This was a mature victory, a grown-up victory, like a veteran playoff team just doing work in the regular season. You're going up against a team that is hungry for their first win, that was playing at home, and you take care of business. You love to see it. Desmond Bane scores 31 points, makes 6 3-pointers. He ended the first half with this self-created step-back three and then continued cooking the whole second half. It seemed like anytime the Kings put together a little run, Malik Monk starts to get hot, Desmond Bane was there to bail the team out. This is the first time for Desmond Bane that he's had consecutive 30-point games in his career. After going for 38 last game, goes for 31 this game. That's 69 points over a two-game span. That's tied for the 18th most points in franchise history over a two-game span. The only players to score more over a two-game span, Ja Morant, done it many, many times. Pau Gasol, Marc Gasol, and James Posey. James Posey did it once. That surprised me. For the season, Desmond Bane is now averaging 22.6 points per game. Despite the slow start in the first few games, he's up to 22.6 points per game after 5. And also he's averaging 5.6 assists per game. The 28 assists that Desmond Bane has through 5 games, those are the most assists he's ever gotten over a 5-game span in his career. Also extremely important for Desmond Bane's young legacy, he passed Kyle Anderson on the Grizzlies' all-time franchise scoring leaderboard. Desmond Bane now 24th in most points in Grizzlies franchise history. The game you got from Bane has to make you so excited. This is what we dreamed of. Ja Morant did not have to go into superhero mode. He didn't have to score 35, 40 points. Ja Morant had a fine, nice game. Made all his free throws. Thank you, Ja. Ja's up to 87.5% on free throws for this season. Ja could just kind of chill with 22 points. Get 6 assists. Don't worry, Desmond Bane has us. And also, don't worry, this is going to be a team victory. Aldama and Steven Adams are going to play fine in the front court. Dylan Brooks is going to make half of his three-pointers, but the bench is going to show up. Tyus Jones with a big game. Jake LaRavia with the best game of his professional career. Brandon Clark played very, very well. This is one of the only games this year where the Grizzlies erased a lead when Ja Morant was off the court. Ja's plus-minus against the Rockets, he was plus 23. That was only a 7-point win. Against the Nets, it was plus 20. That was a 10-point win. In this one, the Grizzlies got down 10 points in the first quarter, and it was the bench. You love to see it. The bench erasing that deficit. And then in the second half, you got incredible minutes that were, Bane playing with the second unit because of LaRavia's strong play. LaRavia knocked down his open three-pointers. He grabbed a bunch of rebounds. He put the ball on the floor for what I believe was a design play. Got him a layup. It was after a timeout. He made a huge steal in the fourth quarter that was part of a really nice sequence for the Grizzlies bench. For this season now, he's a gamer. 9 for 15 on three-pointers. That's the way to make them when they matter. The Grizzlies as a team made 14 three-pointers in this one. They once again won the three-point battle. This is new territory for the Grizzlies. They also made a higher percentage of their field goals for the first time in a game this year. They had a higher field goal percentage than their opponent for the first time all season. They won the points in the paint. We hadn't seen that a lot. It's so unique how this team has transformed its identity, the way it gets points from what it did last year. Similar results. You're winning most of them, but they're not getting steals. They only had 5 steals as a team in this game. That's tied. That would have been tied for their second lowest total in all of last season. For this season, they're 26th in the NBA in steals per game. They're 29th in opponent second chance points, but they're getting the three-pointers. The three-pointers are falling. They're averaging still the third most three-pointers made per game. 15 three-pointers made per game. The shooting heroes in this one, Desmond Bane, 6 out of 8. Dylan, like I said, 3 for 6. And LaRavia, 3 for 4. That'll do. When those guys make shots, this team is going to be very, very tough to beat. Now, we've seen stretches like this before in each of the last 3 seasons. You could find a 10-game or maybe even a 20-game sample where all of a sudden it was like, hey, look, the Grizzlies have the best offensive rating in the league over the last 15 games or whatever. Or the Grizzlies have made the most three-pointers in the NBA since January 1st. That kind of thing. You know, we've always done that. They've run hot and cold with these things. Right now, whether or not they're just running hot or if this is a sustainable, noticeable change, that's where we don't know yet. Reasonable people can disagree on that. I am hopeful, but not certain that the changes are permanent. If LaRavia can keep doing this, if Conchar, who missed this game, that was a big deal for this game. Not only Zaire Williams, who, by the way, I'll talk about that in just 1 second. Zaire Williams is missing this game. He's going to miss a lot of other games. But Conchar was out. This team was a little bit shorthanded. They had to play more Roddy and LaRavia minutes. Roddy struggled a bit. Again, the three-point shot is not falling for him. If you look at his hideous field goal percentage, at least tell yourself he's mainly shooting wide open three-pointers. That's his job. He's not taking bad shots. David Roddy is just doing the thing he's supposed to do. Yes, we wish the shots went in, but we're not going to be mad at Roddy yet for not making three-pointers as long as all the looks are good. I mean, that goes to Dillon Brooks, too. Dillon Brooks was 4 for 12 from the field. Once again, got off to a very, very slow start, but he did, in fact, heat up. He made some big shots in this one. And also, if you go back and if you watch every one of his field goal attempts, that's a thing you can do. If you go to NBA.com, look in the box score, just click on field goal attempts where that link is. You can watch every one of his field goal attempts. They're not bad shots. Out of the 12, I would say maybe 2 were kind of rushed and forced. I'll live with that. Otherwise, he's just missing open shots. Again, I will live with that. Ideally, someone would make more open shots than Dillon Brooks does, but that's the hand we were dealt. And if he's going to play hard defense and in this one, like come through with some big shots, I'm happy. That's how the Grizzlies get a win. Now, the Zaire Williams news, this came out on Thursday. Can't remember if it was Wednesday or Thursday. But anyway, the news is that Zaire Williams is going to be out for 4 to 6 more weeks. The soreness is not healing the way they would like. The official PR release says he continues to experience right knee soreness stemming from patellar tendinitis. Further diagnostic testing supports a return-to-play protocol involving progressive loading and an expected return in 4 to 6 weeks. The first half of that sentence, honestly, I have no idea what it means. A return-to-play protocol involving progressive loading. I mean, I know what it sort of means, but those are meaningless words to me. But expect to return 4 to 6 weeks. All right, if he misses 4 weeks from today, that's 13 more games missed. If he's out for 6 weeks, that looks like it's right about 20 games missed. So he would miss the first 25 games of the season. Possibly he could return then during that long homestand at the beginning of January. The Grizzlies have a 5-game homestand from December 5th to 15th. So it's disappointing that Zaire Williams, a guy we were hoping, for a big leap this year, or at least some improvements. The year 1 to year 2, we were all, I think, optimistic that he could show a lot. But he's not going to be there. That means we're going to need everyone else to stay healthy. We need Bane and Dillon Brooks to stay healthy. We need Conchar to not miss many more games. It means that the rookies, Roddy and LaRavia, are going to have plenty of minutes to season and improve and get experience. LaRavia was so good in this one where he was allowed to close the game. He got that winning time experience. That is the organizational plan. That's the way they do things. They don't get veteran help in the offseason. They don't trade for it. They don't usually, they don't sign free agents. They know it's a long season. There's going to be injuries, and they're just going to let their guys get that experience. And thus, you reap the benefits of that when you see a guy like Santi Aldama in year 2 is all of a sudden a great contributor. Santi got 2 blocks, 2 steals, had a very nice all-around game, even if the box score doesn't show it. Honestly, this is like the most Kyle Anderson slow-mo box score of Aldama's career so far. Played 30 minutes, got 4 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 2 blocks. You say 4 points, 2 rebounds? That's a good game? Yeah. If you watched it, good game. I mean, one of his buckets was that awesome reverse dunk off an assist from Desmond Bane. The way he moves and plays defense and is ready to attack on offense, it's really a huge contributing factor to the Grizzlies' team success so far. I know we're just 5 games in, and I should avoid net ratings and those things, but Aldama's putting up some nice stats for when he's on the court, how well the team performs. Steven Adams had a really good game. He was very active on both sides of the ball. He gets his first double-double of the season. 12 points, 6 made field goals for Steven Adams. 12 points, 11 rebounds, 7 of them on the offensive glass. Also got 4 assists. Really nice work from Steven Adams. The Brandon Clark performance, he looked especially energized. He was moving with purpose whenever he got the ball. He was finishing and getting to the foul line once again. He missed a 3-pointer. I believe he's going to start making some 3-pointers. The shot looks okay to me. I mean, that's okay. Okay on a spectrum of the ways Brandon Clark's shot has looked. It's not okay on the scale of how does Jake LaRavia's shot look. LaRavia's standstill shot is awesome. It's great. But I think Brandon Clark's going to start banging some of those threes. His 2-point field goal percentage so far this year, unassailable. He's making his free throws. He's getting fouled. A very active, nice game from Brandon Clark. 16 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block. That is the good stuff. Tyus Jones had a very, very nice game. Did most of his damage in the first quarter, but like I was saying, that's the first quarter where the Grizzlies got down by 10, and then the second unit comes in. And so far this year, with our second unit struggles, it's like, oh, this is a problem. No, Tyus Jones stepped up, scored 10 in that first quarter, finished with 14 points, got 5 assists, 1 turnover. Tyus Jones had a turnover in every game, but I think that's as much the fault of him sharing the court with either 1 or 2 rookies a lot of the time as it is, him. I think there's probably times where Roddy and LaRavia are not exactly where Tyus thinks they're going to be or where they're supposed to be. And by the way, Tyus passed Greg Anthony to move into 12th all-time in assists in Grizzlies franchise history. And by the way, the Grizzlies, they scored 125 points. That's now 36 consecutive wins when scoring at least 120 points. And it was a very consistent throughout the game scoring effort. 32 in the first quarter, then 31 points in the second, third, and fourth quarters. This was a game where the Grizzlies never even had like what felt like a huge run. They never blew it open. They never had this like, oh, we've scored 12 straight, gone on an 18-2 run or something. I think that's what makes me so happy about the win. I mean, yeah, I guess I was a little bit nervous with no Conchar playing and thinking that the Kings would be especially motivated. I mean, no team wants to fall to 0-4, and the Kings had been playing some close basketball games. And they have a lot of offensive firepower, and the Grizzlies' defense still not very good. But the fact that the Grizzlies just, put together these 8-0, 7-0, whenever the Kings cut it close, they knock down three-pointers. That's the magic of the three-pointer. So a very encouraging win, an awesome start to the season. 4-1 after 5 games with Dylan missing 3 of the games, with no Jaren or Zaire for any of the games. Tremendous start. They have an opportunity also to continue this tremendous start. Their next 2 games are at Utah. You would hope you can take care of business, although, technically the Jazz right now tied with the Grizzlies for the best record in the Western Conference at 4-1. So a titanic clash on Saturday night. That game's at 8 p.m. Central. It's also important, I think, to keep a level head. I mean, you don't have to. You're a fan. You can still feel like the Grizzlies are going to win 66 games. You want to keep a level head? You keep in mind the opponents the Grizzlies have defeated. They beat the Knicks in overtime. That looks like maybe a strong win. The Knicks are 3-1. But the Rockets, Nets, and Kings, those teams are a combined 2-12. The Grizzlies' half-court offense has picked it up a lot. They scored very, very well in the half-court offense the last 2 games. Of course, those were against the Nets and the Kings, 2 of the worst defenses in the NBA. At least it looks like it. I mean, you can only play who's put in front of you. And the Grizzlies, we know a thing that's going to last is that Ja Morant is first-team All-NBA caliber. And I think Desmond Bane is all-star caliber, but just good. We knew coming in the schedule would be soft, and you had an opportunity to be able to survive while Jaren's not there. Well, they're doing more than surviving. They're playing great. And you're getting that key experience for some of your lesser players. And then eventually when, maybe Roddy and even LaRavia aren't in the rotation, this team should be very, very good. And finally, one more thing. Morant was only 1 for 3 from 3 in this game. Both misses were pretty tough. One of them was he was trying to draw a foul, and so he just threw it up, trying to get a whistle from the ref. The other one was very, very deep, and I looked at all of his misses. I got tipped off listening to the Daily Memphian podcast. Chris Harrington was talking about this. Like, all of his misses, most of them are really, really long or like shot clock running down, really long three-pointers. And so for the season now, Ja Morant, 13 for 23 from 3, which is obviously great. Of those 10 misses, I would say 3 of them were regular three-pointers, like open, close to the line. 7 of them were either 4 to 5 to 6 feet beyond the three-point line, or because of the shot clock running down, or that one where he tried to draw a foul on Rashawn Holmes. So 7 of Ja's 10 misses are either deep three-pointers or extremely harassed, not under normal circumstances. So, let's get excited about Ja Morant's jumper, because he looks so confident and it looks so good. And as long as that is still working, the Grizzlies are definitely one of the best teams in the NBA. Anyways, make sure you stay connected and follow at MemGrizz and at Grind City Media across all social channels, including Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for breaking news, one-of-a-kind content, and all the perspectives you won't find anywhere else. You can follow me on Twitter at FastBreakBreak or at GrizzliesPod, just 2 of my many Twitter accounts. Anyways, hope you have a great weekend. Talk to you soon. Go Grizz.